The first message we have here is, I mishandled you. There's a heavy feeling of regret coming through with this masculine energy. Divine Feminine, this is someone you would describe as both a lover and a friend. I feel they would describe you in the same way. This is a connection with a deep level of chemistry. You both seem to have a system when it comes to romantic partnerships, where friendship is the foundation of your bond. It's non-negotiable for both of you, especially for this masculine energy. It's almost as though they follow a set structure when entering relationships, particularly ones they take seriously. Skipping this step tells them where to place the feminine energy in their life. But with you, from the very beginning, there's always been this lovers and friends dynamic. This connection feels like a breath of fresh air, where you both can truly be yourselves. However, something recently happened that shook this foundation. It's not as though everything is falling apart, but the bond has definitely been rattled, leaving both of you feeling uncomfortable. You have such a strong connection that even the slightest energetic shift can be felt by both of you. You might be deeply attuned to your emotional bodies, or you could mirror each other in a way that makes this connection extremely sensitive emotionally. With the message, I mishandled you, it's almost like your person is reflecting on their actions. This realization could have come after you brought something to their attention, but for some of you, they might have come to this realization on their own. They may have mishandled you either through their communication or their actions, and that's likely the cause of this recent shift in energy. Your person is feeling this heavy sense of regret, almost as if they are holding themselves accountable. This reading is picking up on their mental and emotional process at this moment. Something transpired recently that violated the system you both had in place. You intentionally built this foundation of friendship and connection, and now, something has disrupted it. Your person is definitely checking themselves for how they may have mishandled the situation. Oki, the next message is you bring out another side of me. Wow, I'm picking up on a dual energy with this, coming from your masculine. It feels like this taps into both their higher and lower nature. Something from the past, an event that transpired, triggered this other side of them. The reason they're checking themselves now is that they recognize you bring out this hidden part of their personality. If you were to ask them why the incident happened, they would justify it this way. There's a heavy energy of repression here. It could be something they've been stuffing down since the beginning of your connection, something they were adamant about not showing you. They seem to be pulled in two different directions. On the one hand, they acknowledge you as the feminine energy that brings out their more calm and loving side. But on the other hand, they recognize that their lower nature is still there. The more they try to repress it, the more it seems to surface, sometimes at the most random and unexpected times. This likely caught you off guard, especially since your connection feels a bit rocky. Even the smallest shifts between you two are noticeable. It's almost as if this situation is giving you insight into their internal dialogue. They are aware that you bring out a more nurturing, loving side in them. But they're also struggling with this other side, the one they're trying to hide. They don't want this part of them to spill over into your connection. The final message we have here is, I can't trust anyone. I'm sensing a heavy projection with this energy. This isn't truly how your person feels about you, Divine Feminine. Rather, it's how they feel about a particular circumstance or something they're emotionally dealing with right now. I'm also getting the term trauma bond very clearly here. It's not that your person necessarily has another side, but instead, they seem to have a specific pattern. The reason they're checking themselves now is because, before meeting you, every feminine energy they dated, whether casual or serious, willingly participated in this pattern. But with you, they know they can't continue in the same way. It's like they're hitting the pause button, putting on the brakes, and reevaluating how they've handled things with you. Honestly, it feels like they believe they failed some kind of test, and they failed miserably. When your person says, I can't trust anyone, this feels like a deflection. It's probably how they justified their behavior in previous relationships. Instead of explaining themselves, they may have projected this insecurity, and the people they were with just accepted it. However, with you, because you're building a foundation and creating a strong bond, they realize they can't use this defense mechanism anymore. Interestingly, the fact that this energy surfaced here indicates that it's also present in their mind. This was likely their automatic response when the situation occurred, to withdraw emotionally, tap into their lower energy, and project onto you by saying they can't trust anyone. I'm not sure what happened recently. Maybe a conversation took a wrong turn, or perhaps it was something they did or didn't do, but it seems to have caused a ripple effect. Because of the strong bond between you, you both can feel it. Your person is feeling it the most, especially since they likely initiated it. Your person feels a deep internal conflict between their higher, more loving nature and their repressed lower nature. They acknowledge that you bring out the best in them, but past events trigger the resurfacing of darker, hidden parts of themselves, which they struggle to control. This duality often leads to unpredictable behavior, catching you off guard. They're also dealing with a pattern from previous relationships where they projected mistrust and emotional distance. In the past, their partners accepted this behavior, but with you, they realize they can't continue using such defenses. They see you as someone with whom they can't repeat old habits, and it makes them pause to reevaluate how they've handled things. Despite claiming, "I can't trust anyone," this is more of a deflection. It reflects their past emotional wounds rather than their feelings towards you. They know this excuse won't work in your connection, which forces them to confront their emotions rather than fall back into familiar patterns. Their recent actions or conversations may have caused tension, but the bond you share makes them more aware of the need to change. These messages reflect a deep emotional struggle, particularly with vulnerability, trust, and personal growth. Your person seems to be grappling with inner conflict between the more loving side of themselves that you bring out and the darker, more reactive side they've repressed. This duality suggests that while they recognize your positive influence, they're also confronting old, ingrained patterns of behavior, likely shaped by past relationships or personal experiences. What stands out is that they are self-aware enough to recognize this dynamic and its impact on your connection. The fact that they feel the need to check themselves shows that they don't want to repeat the mistakes of their past. They seem to value your relationship enough to resist falling into old habits, but they are also clearly struggling with how to handle this change. The phrase "I can't trust anyone" feels more like a protective mechanism, a way of deflecting responsibility rather than addressing the core issue. It's interesting that they no longer feel like they can rely on this defense with you, which signals that your relationship holds a different level of significance for them. However, this emotional work can be challenging, and the process may involve moments of withdrawal or projection until they can fully integrate these changes. Overall, these messages reveal both the challenges and potential growth in the relationship. While there are still hurdles, particularly with trust and emotional openness, there's a strong foundation and a willingness on their part to reflect and change. If they can fully face their fears and patterns, it could lead to a deeper and more authentic connection between you both. If you don't forget, then write in the comments about how your day went. I will definitely read it. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, like and subscribe channel.